In today's video, we're going to talk about best condo buildings in City Place, Toronto. City Place is located on southwest part of the city. It's basically just east of Bathurst Street to west of Rogers Centre to north of Lakeshore to south of railway tracks, basically just next to the well. So this video is a part 2 of an ongoing series with Tom's Story, where we spotlight best condo buildings in different neighborhoods across the city. So if you get any value out of this content, then please hit that like button, and also please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps a small channel like this to grow. And if you got any questions about real estate, you can book a call with us by clicking on the first link mentioned in the description below. So now enjoy the video.
Amrit, welcome back. Are we ready to tell people the greatest condos in City Place?
Absolutely. And thank you again for having me back.
I should say too, like, sorry to cut you off. What's your, at this moment in time in 2025, how do you see City Place? Because it's changed. There was a lot of hate on it for a long time, and I think it has gotten better, but how do you see it right now?
It has matured. Like, I think all those 20-year-olds which moved into this neighborhood, they have matured. So along with that, the neighborhood has matured. There's nice park in the middle of it that's called Canoe Landings. It's pretty lively in the evenings, or the afternoon too, during summer times. Earlier, the buildings were in the middle of the City Place were not the best, I'll be honest with you, but there are few buildings on the west and east sides of the City Place. Those are nicer and better buildings. So I think those buildings have attracted some mature clientele or end users too.
That's a good point. Yeah, there was so much negativity. I always made jokes in my older videos that City Place was the Nickelback of condo communities. I don't know if you know that joke, but everyone just hates on Nickelback for no reason, but secretly likes their music. And City Place is located very well. Yes, they did build a lot. It was during the condo boom, and it was investor focused. And anyways, well, let's get to the positives here. So let's start. You want to start me off with building number 1. What would be your first building in City Place you'd recommend?
So my first building would be 70 and 80 Queens Wharf, which is on the west end of this neighborhood. It is developed by Concord Development. Concord is the main or core developer over there. Building was built in 2015-ish. So it's not too old, not too new. And decent layouts again. I know I focus so much on floor plans, but that is the ultimate, I think, anyone who's looking to get into condo, that's the paramount, or they should look out for. And they have got tons of amenities. Amenities are shared between 4 buildings actually over there. They have a different amenity center. So yeah, that's about it. So I would say those are 2 buildings which I would recommend.
And those would be like fairly newer. They'd be in the newer group of City Place condos, right? Compared to the original stuff that was built.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So my number 1, not like in any order, but my first building would be 11 Burnell. It's a little bit kind of off to the corner there, if you know what I'm talking about, in City Place. They've got a really cool, like, I don't know if it's 30th floor or 33rd floor, but this really cool, like, hot tub area where you can see the view. I remember having clients that I helped lease a place in there, like, honestly, probably 11 years ago, and they just faced the water, and all they wanted to do was see the planes landing. Like, that's what the big thing was for them. So I just think it's its own building. It's not really shared with like anything else. You got the pool on the one side of it. I like 11 Burnell. I think it's a solid building, and it's kind of undercover, hidden away in the cluster of City Place that not many people would maybe know about it as being one of the top condos there.
That was my second on my list, to be honest.
Why did you put it on?
Again, layouts, I would say number 1. And location is also not too bad. You can just hop onto the Gardner, but again on Spadina, it's totally choked in the evening, so it takes time to get onto the Gardner. And better condos as opposed to the ones which are in the middle of City Place, I would say. So 15 Fort York and 11 Brunel, these are 2 buildings which are associated together. These are 2 buildings would be my number 2.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll go for my second then, and I'm going to do 170 Fort York. So this is the library condo. And a lot of people don't know this. That's like the only building that's built there that's not built by Concord. Another developer built that, it was Context that built that, which is very confusing. It sounds the same. But that's one of those things when we talk about like development fees are outrageous and what do they actually go to and things like that. It's supposed to be going towards things like the park that they did, and the fact that the library building legitimately has a public library attached to the side of it, right? We've had a few people that have lived there over the years. Like, yes, not the biggest layouts. It was built during the investor boom when smaller floor plans happened. But if I were to look at City Place and go like, if I were to move there, what would be my top 5 potential buildings? I think this would fall into it. So that would be my number 2.
My number 3 would be, I'm going to go further east of Spadina. That is 3 Navy Wharf and 35 Mariner and 5 Mariner, basically Harbor View Estates. These buildings are again built in 2015-ish, give and take. And one fact is the maintenance fees are reasonable. And at the same time, everything is inclusive in those maintenance fees. That heat, hydro, water, everything is inclusive, which is, when I show it to my clients, they like that. Especially if someone who's an investor, they prefer that too. And you get good rental yield in those buildings. And as well as I've seen many end users living in that building. So it's a good mix, but obviously more towards renters, I'll be honest with you.
Yep.
But in City Place, those are one of the few good buildings I would vouch for in those, and decent floor plans too.
And you've got, and then I think 10 Navy would be the other one, like the 4th one that's in the corner there. And then they share that like super center, like, is that what they call it? The super something?
Super center, I forgot.
Is that what it's called?
But yes, somewhere on those lines. They have a bowling alley over there.
Yeah, they got like a track you can run around. They got everything in there.
Yeah. So like they've got tons of amenities, but still maintenance fees are reasonable because there are 4 towers with so many units in those. So that's why the maintenance fee, the cost is divided amongst all the owners living over there, or the investors who have their owners or who own the units over there.
And because they were built, more than 10 years ago, you also can get some pretty generously sized floor plans in there.
Yeah.
And in, the original way that they would have been delivered would have been outdated now. Like the way that they did the kitchens, like, exactly what I'm talking about. All of them have those same kind of kitchen layouts in that building. But people that have renoed, like if you get good space in those buildings and you're willing to put in, 50 to 100 grand in really nice renos, you could take a 1,200 square foot unit and make it amazing and pay a lot less even after renos compared to maybe some of the buildings in King West, right?
And the views looking out south towards the water are amazing. But you have to go on a higher floor. But if you're not on a higher floor, then you'll be facing the Gardner. So that's a downside. Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually, what floor is it that faces the Gardner normally? Like the 9th floor? Is that usually the one where it's like...
Yeah, 9th to 15th, I would say.
Yeah. So I think that's a good little tip for people as well. I mean, you'll know if you go in and you look out the window. Okay, so we agreed on that. So that's basically both the same for us. So what would be your next pick?
The number 1, that is 70 and 80 Queens Wharf. And then 75 and 85 Queens Wharf. These are 4 sister buildings. But 75, 85 Queens Wharf are slightly on the older end. But these are the 4 buildings I would recommend on top of the others, which I mentioned. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I'd say then my final one for this video would be 81 Navy Wharf. Now, I'm fully well aware that the monster that's being built across from it right now, the Canada House, that's a big boy. So that's totally changed that. But 81 Navy Wharf is the building that if the roof is open at the Sky Dome, you can legitimately see into it from certain units over a certain floor looking down. So that's like a pretty famous picture that people see sometimes of what that it's being taken, from these units. And they did a refurbishment of the lobby not that many years ago. And it's a standalone building. It's on its own. It's got good amenities. It's located really well. There will be more, not like there already isn't now, but congestion because of that new building that's coming up. But I would just say that's still one that I would focus on and say, that's an interesting option for potential buyers.
Yeah. The only downside over in that building is during Jays games, it gets really chaotic. So if you have any plans, you'll have to plan it ahead to get out of those little pocket. Even for 3 Navy Wharf or 35 Mariner, same story.
Same idea, right? Yeah, just because of where you're located.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Jays have to get good again for that to become an issue. But
so
there you go. That's our favorite buildings in City Place. There's obviously some that we haven't talked about, which are buildings that, like, at least if a client asks us, we probably wouldn't recommend. And we're not going to call out those buildings, but the reason would be for some of the ones we didn't talk about would be for the fact that they are 80 to 90% tenanted, and nothing wrong with
tons
renting.
of Airbnb.
Tons of Airbnb
too.
So just the overall health of the building long term. It's just like if I was getting renting on one of these buildings is totally different conversation. So this video has been more focused on like if you're going to be investing your money into these buildings and actually purchasing, and not just renting for a year or two. Then it's kind of like, well, get the one that makes sense for you. But there you go. There's our breakdown of City Place condos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments below if there's any ones that you would add, you would delete, or you think we just should have talked about instead of the ones that we talked about in this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.